welcome to another scrumptious edition of Chopped Greens. I am your host, Philip M. Ryan, sitting alongside
Luke Wright.
And chomping away at the bit back there is Gary Boucher, but he's more of a bystander in this particular podcast. So, in case you hear some munching or chewing or burping, just know that's neither one of us, it's Gary. All right. I like that. Thanks. Going back to sizzling week 4 there, a lot of close finishes. Buccaneers and Giants finished with a late game field goal. Even Kansas City, Washington finished with a late field goal, and then almost the most meaningless touchdown for points ever, because it flipped the Chiefs covering the line and not.
Yep.
It was crazy.
And it hit the over.
And it hit the over. It was meaningful, but again, in the realm of the game, even the players were about to leave the field. They're like, "Wait, you got to kick the field goal. You got to kick the PAT." And they had to go back out there, and Alex Smith just took a knee. All right. I don't know about you, Luke Wright, but I want to head off first on what I wanted to talk about week 4, and I'm going to zero in on Los Angeles Rams destroying by 4 points, but destroying the Dallas Cowboys 35-30. This is such an interesting game because it completely legitimizes the Rams 3-1 this year. They are legit contenders that they were not last year. Last year they were the worst 3-1 team ever, and the Chargers were the best 1-3 team ever. This year, the Los Angeles Rams are completely legit. Their defense is this year's definition of bend don't break. They've got a stud running back, and it's amazing what the changing of a coach can do for an offense, especially an offense when now they've got a little creativity. They've got a lot of motion in that offense that helps Todd Gurley get open, create space, and they actually are able to create plays for their playmakers and get Todd Gurley out in space to break tackles and really do a lot of what he does best without getting stuffed in the 8-man box that he was subjected to slug through all of last year. And Jared Goff is even coming off fantastic, off to a hot start. He's playing the role of game manager dutifully this year thus far. Anything you see in the Rams? I know this is a division foe for us Cardinal fans, quote unquote.
Really, just kind of a lot of the same points you hit. I think this. We keep looking at the Rams, and for a while we just kept questioning, like, are the Rams good? Are the Rams good? And then they just keep stacking up the quality wins, and they're going to continue to have chances to prove that they are a quality team. And I think it's interesting to see the dynamic of bringing in a new head coach, because I think everybody in the football world knows that Jeff Fisher was just awful at everywhere he stopped. He was never great. He just had the talent. He only really had like one good postseason run with the Titans.
1 yard short. Mm-hmm. 1 yard short.
But overall, the Rams really did a good job at just like confirming to everybody, hey, we are in fact good. You can start talking about us. On the flip side, the Cowboys it was interesting to see them play because we're still asking the question of the Cowboys is we know they have the talent on offense. We know that the defense has at least the potential to be able to not lose the game every single time. But, we're getting to that point where Dallas isn't really proving they're a good team. They're just proving they're an average to slightly above average team.
I think that there is something to be said of last year. They significantly overachieved, and they were playing a last place schedule, and thus they, being a good team and playing only bad teams, you should win. You should win as many games as you did. Now that they're playing a tougher schedule, what sticks out to me painfully for this Dallas Cowboys team is that The formula from last year was run the ball, run the timeout, and don't get our defense on the field. Score, but make sure that we score a touchdown. Don't trade touchdowns for field goals. But also make sure that while we're doing that, we chew away at the clock so that way our defense is always fresh. Our defense is never on the field for as minimal amount of time as possible, and so on and so forth. But what has effectively happened is that this year, the biggest loss for them was not in the defense, because their defense is actually better than than last year's reincarnation. What is so jarring from this team from last year is that they have lost some key pieces on that offensive line. Not only did they have a great starting offensive line last year for Dallas, they had depth, which is something you can rarely say in the NFL for a line. They had, or for I guess an offensive line. Some teams have depth for defensive lines, i.e. Seattle. But sticking to Dallas, Doug Free retired, and then they lost a couple of other key pieces. They've lost a lot of the heart and soul of what made last year's team go. It was a grinded out old school team that has lost a lot of their mojo. As talented as Ezekiel Elliott is, he's subject to what everybody is, what last year Todd Gurley had to go through. If you're not getting those holes, there's only so much that you can do with the space allotted, and you can only gain as much as your blocking allows you to do.
And it doesn't help when everyone knows now what your game plan is. Dak's fine as a game manager. Dak's not going to pull an Aaron Rodgers and start winning every game for you. He's not in that position to be able to do that, both himself and the talent around him. He has Dez, but that's about it. And he's not the type of quarterback who can make other wide receivers, seem like they're elite when they're really not. So, when you have opposing defenses just crowding the box because they know you're going to try to run it with Zeke, we're not going to let that happen. It also really makes you very one-dimensional, especially now when you're behind late in games, so you can't continue to run the ball.
And that's a good jumping off point to get into Week 5, where the Cowboys, for my most interesting game of the week, going into Week 5, headline my most interesting game of the week, staying at home and facing the Packers. Now, the reason why this is my most interesting game of the week is this is desperation time for both teams, essentially. The Packers need to pile on as many wins as they can while they're injured, so that way when they lose because they're injured into some of those harder games that they're going to start facing on their schedule, they need as many streaked wins ahead of them, so that way they have as much coverage as they can before those losses start to hurt them. And on the flip side, the Cowboys are giving themselves little to no room for error. They need to win this home game, especially when you have two back-to-back home games. It's never good to go 0-2 at a homestand. And if they start to get streaking in the wrong direction, especially in that division where even the Washington Redskins, they lost last week, but that was probably one of the best losses of the week, where it was a nasty defensive approach. The Giants every week are going to be a tough out, even though they're 0-4. The Eagles are tethering and dangerously close to, at any point in time, running away with the division of just winning game in and game out. So the Cowboys need to keep pace in the NFC East, and the Packers need to get some distance between them and the competition while they're battling injuries. Your most interesting game of the week, Luke?
My most interesting game of the week is Seahawks-Rams. Because yet again, this is another test for the Rams to prove to everyone that they are good, while also it's interesting for both sides because this is a divisional rivalry game. And not only is this a divisional rivalry game, this is a division rivalry game that matters arguably more than any other matchup this year. The Niners are definitely not winning the NFC West. Technically, both Arizona and Seattle are 2-2, but Arizona's 2 wins have come very, very close against the Niners and Colts, which are arguably the 2 worst teams in the entire league.
Yeah.
So, right now Arizona is not looking like they're going to really be in any contention unless they can get it together real fast. So, if LA can beat the Seahawks here and take that 2-game lead on them,
that's a great thing about these division games is that a win normally counts for you, but a win here would count double for you in the division tiebreaker, and of course in just the general standing of a win.
Yeah, so there's a lot to be had for the Rams this week, and there's a lot to be lost for the Seahawks this week. So to me, that's the most interesting matchup.
Jets and Browns highlight my least interesting game of the week. Cleveland is a -1 at home. The Jets somehow have found a way to muddy even tanking, even though that they've tried their darndest to get all the way down to 0-4 like the Browns. This might be the one game the Browns win, even though outside of last week they've been highly competitive in every game thus far. This is an interesting one just to see if the Browns get away from the undefeated or the completely defeated. But that's it. That's it. Even if the Jets go 3-2, that's nothing to shake your hat at. Their 2 losses or 2 wins rather are come against the Colts and now the Jaguars, who are always up and down. Your least interesting game?
Actually, I even understood what you were saying less now. Is that we were talking about least interesting games before we started, and I thought we were both on the same page here. My least interesting game of the week is Chargers-Giants.
Oh my gosh.
I thought you were going to go Niners-Colts. And now I see, because we talked about, look, 2 down, and now they're all 2 games apart.
That's
when
hilarious.
I look at it here. I'm going Chargers and Giants, though, because they're 2 winless teams, which, by the way, I am now officially willing to say that the Giants are out of it.
Well, we'll save that to the end, but don't count them out just yet.
They're 0-4. I'm going to count them out. But yeah, that regardless of who wins or loses, it just doesn't matter.
Theoretically, somebody has to win,
It could be a tie.
Gosh.
So no, in theory, nobody has to win.
Oh.
Could you imagine if Chargers-Giants goes to a tie?
What a horrific look.
Which is why that is my least interesting game of the week.
Oh my gosh. All right, most significant game of the week. You've already discussed it, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But Seattle Rams division lead is on deck for this particular game, and since it's outside of Seattle, which is huge. I mean, we saw Sunday night. The Colts battle that excessive home field advantage that Seattle holds. The Rams really need to win this game so that way when they travel to Seattle and they have that way to just give Seattle an advantage should they win that game, which I would imagine that they would. Los Angeles, although it's not a big home field advantage, division leadership is up for grabs here, and trying to bury the Seahawks personally should be goal number 1 through 10 if you're the Rams. Just keep on winning, keep stacking up the wins, and I don't know if they can, because the Seahawks certainly at 2-2 aren't anything to sneeze at either. And their offensive woes were fixed for a game, but they're losing yet another running back. It's questionable all the way around. Most significant game of the week for you?
I'm going Cardinals-Eagles.
Okay.
Because this is Arizona's last chance to show the world something of the contender they were 2 years ago and the contender people thought they were going into last season. You're standing at 2-2, like we said earlier. Those 2 wins were not good wins. They were, in fact, bad wins, very bad wins.
Because they looked awful in the wins.
Yes. So to me, it's so crucial for them to come out and be able to beat a division leader like Philly is. And on the flip side, this is Philly's chance to just start running away with the division early in the season. They already have that 1-game lead, and it looks like Washington and Dallas are going to be hit or miss all year. And I think, like I said, Giants are kind of they're going to be a tough out every week, but the Giants are definitely out of at least the division race.
Yeah, the Eagles need to win this game or else falter and give up control of their own destiny here. And then finally we go to lock of the week. I'm going to go all the way to Thursday. There's no way that and I'm going to go against the line here. Buccaneers, I'm taking the points. Right now it's at 5.5. Buccaneers plus 5.5 at home. So disrespectful. I'm taking the Buccaneers. On a short week, the Patriots are not going to be fixing those defensive woes. And the Buccaneers are at home, so I'm giving them a slight advantage. I don't know if they win, but it's going to at least be an interesting field goal game. I'm predicting that Patriots have played close games all year this year thus far. Same with the Buccaneers. I don't think either team blows the other out, and I certainly don't think the Patriots are capable of blowing out the Buccaneers at their place. So I'm taking the points. Lock of the week. Luke?
My lock of the week is Vikings over Bears. Vikings are minus 3.5.
Vikings are minus 3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I know it's in Chicago, but there's no way Vikings don't win by at least a touchdown.
Mitchell Trubisky's first start.
Yeah,
first career start.
On Monday Night Football against a tough Vikings defense, he's going to get slaughtered.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. He looked decent, very decent in the decent to good in the preseason.
Oh, where have I seen that story? Rookie QB, decent to good in preseason.
I believe that would be Dak Prescott last year.
That would be literally every single rookie quarterback out.
Fair enough. And then finally, to close it all out here, Luke, we get to add to our list of burned men. So far, we have killed and just thrown away the Browns, the 49ers, Bears, Jets, Chargers, the Bengals. Finally, Luke Wright, do we have any new contenders that we can safely take off the list of Super Bowl contention?
I'm willing to say that we can safely take off the Giants. They're 0-4.
Okay, the Giants are off.
There's no way. They could win their next 8 games straight, and I would still take them off.
New York Giants are off. Anybody else you're willing to take off?
Not off the top of my head. Was there anyone you were thinking?
The only one I can really somewhat make a case of is either the Miami Dolphins or Arizona Cardinals.
Too early for Cardinals for me because of that division. Okay. What's Miami's record?
1-2. Remember they had that early bye week.
I'm willing to keep them on there for now.
One more week?
Yeah.
Life. Let them live.
Just because I think if Cutler can get it together with Gase, and that's a big if, they can at least make a run for the wild card.
I'm still not sure how I feel about the Indianapolis Colts. I'll keep them on there for now, again, just because of how that division's going. Houston has a tough matchup this week, so they could be brought back down to the pack. Same with Jacksonville. Jacksonville's always up and down. And even Tennessee with Mariota down. I'd like to keep Indianapolis still alive. But we have successfully added the New York Giants to the list of do not add this week. No more Super Bowl for you. And with that, we will now slide in for our slidery version of Gimme 5 right after this.
Red Ribbon Realty Group at HomeSmart is a full-service real estate team of Phoenix natives with over 15 years of experience in the industry. When you work with them, you have 2 full-time realtors representing your best interests throughout your entire transaction, whether you are selling, buying, or renting. They also believe in supporting their community. Use code word chopped greens and Red Ribbon Realty Group will donate 15% of their net commission from your transaction to the nonprofit charity of your choice. books. Visit their website at www.redribbongroup.com and find them on Facebook. You can also email them at info@redribbongroup.com or call them at 602-888-6638. Red Ribbon Realty Group. Trust. Commitment. Home.
So we've got Gary Boucher sitting here with us on Gimme 5. Woo! All right.
I hate everybody.
Yes.
No, wait, sorry. I need third-party confirmation. Someone described me as similar to Garfield earlier today. Mm-hmm. When you think Garfield, what are some primary characteristics you think of?
Lasagna.
Cat.
Okay, we got two of them, but like his attitude.
That's petty.
Petty?
Yeah.
I went with fat and lazy and hates Mondays. To me, the four things I think of when I think of Garfield: fat, lazy, hates Mondays, likes lasagna.
I don't know. I've never actually thought of Garfield as like overly obese. He's like got like a little like round shape. He's like an egg.
A little dad bod.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the narrative is that he's fat, but I've never actually myself, like, he doesn't have man nips, you know, or like, you know.
Well,
anything.
that's why, like, they meant to say that, like, I was lovable, like Garfield.
Who says, like, if you're going lovable, I would not pick Garfield.
Right?
As my, like,
you go
number
Odie.
one. Or we're sticking with cartoons?
If we're sticking to the Garfield narrative, you're going Odie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or even John, I suppose, is lovable.
But not Garfield.
Garfield's lovable if you like love non-lovable people. All right. Anyways,
maybe
we've gone too far into the theory of and psychology of Garfield. And for live updates, by the way, Yankees are beating the Twins. Last I heard, 5-4.
Yes. And going into the fourth inning.
Fantastic. All right, this is Gimme 5, the part of the show where I've got 5 questions for you, Luke, and you got 5 questions for me. We don't know what they are, but we will. Gosh darn it, we're going to answer them, honestly. All right, would you care to go first or second there, Luke?
I want to go second.
All right, then I'll go first. Gary and Luke, there are amazing things happening all over the world every day. Tell me about it. People are building islands. Engineers are working to end in-flight turbulence. There's an advent calendar made entirely of miniature wine bottles. Wow. But these small miracles pale in comparison to what happened in a park in Australia over the weekend when almost 600 border collies showed up to break the world record for most border collies ever gathered.
Yes.
The 576 showed up with their owners in a park in Adelaide, Australia on Sunday to break a world record and to raise money for animal-related charities. The World Record Attempt and Fun Day was organized by the Border Collies owners of South Australia, i.e. Bacosa, and raised $4,700 for 3 different dog charities. Border Collie owners paid a $5 entrance fee for the event, which featured a variety of dog-related booths, activities, and treats. Luke and Gary, what would be the best world record to break, and why?
Gary, I'm going to blow you out of the water, so you got to go first.
You gotta go first, buddy.
Most sex had in a lifetime.
Okay, I think Hugh Hefner's got you on a couple years there, but okay.
Most world records broken.
I was thinking something like that. I wanted like most, like the winningest champion. Like I won the most medals or most something.
If I have the most world records, I'm famous in a bunch of different stuff.
There you go.
Just pretty famous at that point.
Although it is fair to be questioned, what if they're just meaningless things? Like I guess theoretically all these are meaningless, right? Because who cares who the number
Everything
one?
has meaning, Philip, okay? I can eat more spaghetti than anybody can in a minute.
Prove it.
And
After the show.
while we're watching that, Luke, why don't you go ahead and gear up on your second question?
So, as the audience is well aware, me and Philip are in a fantasy league together.
I suck.
Yeah, he does. I'm 3-1.
Apparently Phil sucks.
He's absolutely terrible.
What a horrible year.
And he came to me and he offered me a trade. He wanted Chris Thompson, who by the way got him like 1 point last week.
3.
Either way, not a lot. In return for Chris Thompson, I received Alshon Jeffrey Chris Carson, and Javorius Allen of the Ravens.
Buck Allen, as the folks down there call him.
I've literally never heard anyone else call him Buck Allen besides Philip.
It really is Buck Allen.
I know, I believe you. I'm just saying I've never heard it.
Okay. Anyway.
But as some of the more savvy fantasy owners know, Chris Carson just broke his ankle and is out the rest of the year.
Yep.
I still won that trade pretty easily. But my question to you, Philip, since you clearly lost that trade, what is the worst deal that you have ever made?
Worst deal I have ever made. So me and my girlfriend have a deal that I can no longer. Oh my god! No, we can. I can no longer tickle her, and she, in return, has to buy me like lunch once a week.
Okay.
It's a cool deal.
It sucks because inadvertently I sometimes tickle her just by like her being ticklish, and then I lose out on that lunch per week. So not only do I not get the fun of tickling, and also the fear of like, you know, being able to like, if I'm mad or just like, and then get the tickles out, you know, whatever. I don't know, that sounds really weird.
Well, yeah, but like at that point you have like a week to just for unlimited tickles.
That's true. I guess I'm just not a shady Garfield kind of guy like you.
Right?
Right. I think of honoring my deal, even though I already lost it. All right.
I think of honoring my deal after I dishonored my deal. This guy.
Unintentional.
This guy.
I'm like a samurai. I fell on my sword, so therefore I will die on this one.
Comete seppuku.
Twin brothers who arrived in the world 30 minutes apart.
Whoa.
Have both retired. Was there a second part to your question?
No, I wanted Gary to answer.
Oh, continue. I'm sorry.
My worst deal that I've ever made.
How about that one with the devil? Was that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, my deal with good old Lucifer. Yeah, that was. I mean, like,
When you dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
I'm rich now. I dance with him, but like he has my soul for eternity.
Okay.
Eternity.
That's why you're so good at basketball.
Exactly.
Broken wrist and all.
Yeah, right.
I could take him.
Well, Luke, you're a bit of an anomaly here. Okay.
30 points a game.
Those.
Freshman year varsity.
Pre-knees. Actually, was that after knees?
My knees were a genetic defect when I was born, so.
You know what? This isn't a deal because I can't think of one, but I gambled with my other friend Philip, and I remember losing $20 over like a game, like a sports game, and I was like, "This is dumb. I'm never doing this again," because I really wanted that $20.
Maybe you should just get good at sports betting.
I just don't sports bet. I just don't do it.
He doesn't do it anymore.
I don't do it anymore, man. Ever since that $20 left.
Winners always quit. All right. Twin brothers who arrived in the world 30 minutes apart have both retired as airplane pilots by landing their final flights just 30 seconds apart. Captains Jeremy and Nick Hart celebrated their 60th birthdays by touching down for the last time at Heathrow Airport. Despite both working for British Airways for the last 5 years, the brothers have not flown together due to their senior rank. Jeremy from Flitton, Bedfordshire, described landing alongside his brother as, quote, a good way to finish. Luke, if you had a twin brother, what joint venture would you want to embark and finish with your brother? And this goes to you too, Luke. And Gary, if you should choose.
He said, and
I know,
Gary
I went
staring
to
at me.
the opposite ones for you guys, because...
And you, Jamie.
And you, James.
Well, for me, if I had a twin brother, I'd like to travel the world with him. I think that'd be cool.
Okay, that's cool. And Gary?
You know those movies where like one actor plays two characters? You know, like
like Matt
Norbit?
Damon.
Norbit?
Ironically, in
Norbit.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I would want to do a
What?
movie with
Matt Damon plays himself as twin brothers in Saving Private Ryan. He's the brothers. He's both of the brothers.
like in his monologue. What are you talking about?
Isn't Matt Damon both the brothers? The one who dies in the beginning and then the one who is Private Ryan?
No.
No, Matt Damon's just Ryan.
Okay.
He's just Ryan.
What an idiot.
It's okay, Phil.
You're bad and you should feel bad.
Who's Ryan's brother in that movie?
They never show his brother.
Doesn't he die?
Yeah, but like off screen.
He dies like back home.
Oh.
It starts. No, he dies in combat.
Okay,
but the movie starts off not with the brothers dying, but with the letter writing scene of the secretary finding all the letters saying with the last name is dead. That's how the movie starts off.
Yeah, forgettable.
But even then, that's not really playing the same part. At most, that would have just been a 10-second cameo.
I would want to be in an Oscar-winning film with my twin brother playing the same character.
Tag team. I can cry on command and I can laugh on command. All right, your turn, Luke. Sorry,
okay.
I didn't think I needed to say it.
I don't know. You've been bad all night, so I want to make sure you're being
Garfield.
quiet. Okay, so as somebody may have noticed, me, there was a nice change to the NBA All-Star rules.
Oh, yes.
Are you guys both aware of this?
Yes.
So the audience is aware.
Yes.
The All-Star game has been changed to where they have gotten rid of the conferences. Mostly because all of the Eastern All-Stars last year left the Eastern Conference. So this year, starting this year, they will be picking captains, and the captains will be choosing the teams. So my question to both of you is, how excited are you that there are no more Eastern Conference All-Stars? Well, All-Star team, I should say. And if you were a captain of the All-Star team, who would your first pick be? And we will work under the assumption
you're LeBron
that
James or-
can I finish? God. We will work under the assumption that the two leading vote getters will be Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry.
Oh. Okay.
I'm doing two of the same position. We can do Kevin Durant or LeBron. Whichever you prefer. I did Westbrook because he's the MVP, and Curry's been the leading vote getter before, so I figured it'd still be reasonable.
That's that could totally happen.
I suppose, yeah.
Both.
All right. First section of the question was, how do I feel about it? I think it's a precedent for how they're going to change the playoffs.
I was just gonna say, that's the next thing is the playoffs.
Fingers crossed.
As soon as LeBron James leaves to go to LA, this is the stepping stone for how they will change going into the playoffs. So for this particular season, for this particular way, I'm all right with it. I never cared about it to begin with, so it'll be exciting for one season, kind of like the NFL take on it when they did this exact same thing. They did a draft and it was exciting for one season. Then again, the players just didn't care again. So it'll be exciting this season. Past it. Who cares?
Well, I think this is different. I think this is better long term for NBA because NFL, the players didn't care either way, even for the one season.
I will say the one interesting thing will be if players have rivalries between themselves. I mean, will Russell Westbrook ever pick KD?
Yes, and that's what I think for NBA with how the All-Star game is just set up. It lends more to this kind of style.
But see, if it's LeBron, he's just going to pick Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony.
Dwayne Wade's not making it to an All-Star game.
He could be a fill-in.
He's not making it to the All-Star game.
Could be a fill-in.
He's not making it to the All-Star game.
Could be a fill-in. All right. Anyways, who's my number one pick? And I'm Russell Westbrook. Actually, you know who I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna go off the board and go Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because I feel the young players are the only players that are actually going to care about
just
winning.
Russell Westbrook and a bigger.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. I'm going to go younger because I think LeBron James is just going to take it easy on these, and a lot of those veterans will. They don't have anything to prove yet, and they haven't played yet. So they've been playing in it for a long.
You see some of the older veterans go for MVP. You typically can tell within the first 5 minutes
who's actually caring about it. So either it's probably Giannis Antetokounmpo or like Anthony Davis maybe. But either way, Gary, your first pick.
I like it, and like you said, the playoffs are next. And that's been a long time coming. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, like you said,
and I'm genuinely excited about that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a mess up on their part.
I'm still bitter about like 4 years ago when the Suns didn't make it.
but they would have been like a 5th seed in the East.
Yeah, but they won almost 50 games. They didn't make
Unlike
the
baseball,
playoffs.
who's going backwards and discussing
but
getting
if
rid
you're
of
in
the
the
one
Eastern
wild
Conference-
card game.
They're not going. It's not a real discussion.
I hope not, because if they make that into a series, I'm seriously quitting the sport. They're messing everything up. This is like the excitement level is like amplified because of this one event, and that they're trying to just get money laundering and just keep getting, milking the cow.
I'm not sure if you understand.
I
what
know.
money laundering is.
I'm so frustrated. I can't even spell correctly.
Anyways, because I have a give me five about that later.
Okay.
About
Anyways,
money laundering.
Yeah.
my money laundering.
But
Blun's gazing.
and yeah, I think it'll be cool with that playground style, like PE picking of players, like who's gonna pick who. Like, what if it was LeBron? Like, would he pick Kyrie? Would Russell pick KD?
What happens if Curry doesn't pick Draymond and Russell does?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also who doesn't pick their teammates first.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's so many cool dynamics that this could result in, and I love it.
So if you did if Russell Westbrook picked, so I'll be Steph Curry. Steph Curry I would actually pick LeBron as Steph Curry just to play with him, because they would have never picked. They would never played in an All-Star game because East and West,
Right.
and they always play against each other in the finals. So I would be like, you know what, LeBron, I'll pick you.
No, I'd actually be on board for that.
I mean, if I'm Steph Curry, yeah, but I feel like they're so disrespectful to each other in the finals that I don't know how
think they
close
would
They were
Respect.
not. Yeah, they were not. LeBron literally tweets at Curry, "Congrats on that huge contract, fella."
Oh yeah.
What do you?
So he doesn't text him. I don't know. And plus,
Also, that's a new podcast idea later on in the year. We draft it.
okay.
I thought it was pretty obvious, but
All right.
I guess not.
Here we go. I gotta pull out the timer because it's my turn, guys. And I'm gonna go with both of us. I'm gonna go with both of you guys to get it. I've got a list of the top 50 movies you've probably seen, and I want to see how many movies all three of us can get in 1 minute. So that's 50 for 1 minute.
What do you mean, all three of us?
Because I'm just gonna try and get you guys, both of you guys, to say it. Either one of you gets it, we move on to the next one.
Okay, but so you're not participating though.
I'm not. I'm just I'm teaming you guys up. Unless if you guys want to go against each other, because I didn't create this game. Would you guys care to go against each other? See who gets it first?
If we have or haven't seen it.
No, it's just guessing what title it is that I'm trying to get.
I would rather work together because I would get slaughtered by Gary in the movie thing.
Fair enough. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to set the timer for 60 seconds. Let's see if I can do this. Figure it out. Here we go.
So you're gonna give us a hint, and we have to guess
Yes.
what the movie is.
Yes.
Are you
and
going?
I can't say any words from the title.
Okay.
Or character names in the movie, but I can use actors and I can use
Quotes?
I can use quotes. I can use whatever else.
Are you going in like from 1 to 50?
Yeah.
And this is like from who? AFI or IMDb?
This is the list of top 50 movies and how much they've grossed. So money wise.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Avatar.
And
Star Wars.
And go. First movie, Blue People.
Avatar.
Okay. Next one, Iceberg.
Titanic.
All right. Next one.
He's
You're making the time go longer.
I know. Darth. I'm sorry.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. And I already. All right. T-Rex.
Jurassic World.
Yes. Of course. There's big green guy. It's a team.
Shrek.
It's no. It's a team.
Avengers.
Yes. Vin Diesel.
Fast 7.
Yeah, but
Fast
it's
6.
angry instead of. It's not fast, but it's
The Fast and Furious.
number.
5, 4,
Okay.
3.
Big green guy team, but this is a different one.
Avengers
This is
2.
The big. Yes. Next one, Wizards.
Harry Potter.
Harry
and
Potter.
Alice Part 2.
Yes. Let it go.
Frozen.
All right. Teacups are magical, and there's a big hairy guy in a castle.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's that high up.
Yeah.
And to be
It's
fair,
the new one. It's the new one.
we could have gone so much. Even the new one, I'm
Yeah.
surprised. We could have gone so much faster if it hadn't been this dude.
Started for 10 seconds to say Darth, sir.
Yes.
Seriously.
Darth.
All right. Next one. I'm already done, and we only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I feel like we could have done better.
Could have.
Um.
Man.
Yeah, we'll keep going later on at a different point in time, but there's a lot of the Hobbits in here. Ice Age.
We're gonna go on later on as I start to spoil some of them.
No, I'm saying like we'll do different lists at a different point. All right, your
Philip
turn.
is bad at this whole thing.
This whole thing. All right.
Okay.
Continue,
So,
right.
as we discussed a little bit earlier, the wild card game for the AL is tonight. Yankees, Twins. I haven't checked recently. Last I saw, they were in the 4th, and the Yankees were winning 5-4.
Okay.
Tomorrow is D-backs and Rockies for the NL wild card,
I will be on location.
where Philip will be on location.
Top of the 5th, Yankees are winning 7-4.
Okay, so they've extended their lead a little bit. Okay, so as we know, the playoff baseball's starting to get into the swing now because it's officially time to start. Mm-hmm. The actual division series, I believe, start Friday, but they start this weekend. So my question to you guys: how much playoff baseball will you guys actually be watching?
Well, besides this Wednesday, I really am just in baseball. It's so long and boring, and the fact that the main difference from both sports, for one, it doesn't hold the necessity of winning any particular game in the series as does NFL, because there's that one game, win it, you're in, and lose, you're out, and I love that about the NFL. On the flip side, in the NBA, at least in the NBA, theoretically, unless somebody gets injured, you have that continuity of knowing who's on the floor and the difference makers are there. Theoretically, in the MLB, in the World Series, you can have like 3 main components of your lineup switch every single game: the pitcher, the DH, the presence of a DH, and then just somebody gets injured. And for me, a lot of the time, those pitchers are the stars of their team, such as Clayton Kershaw. And for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw is essentially the face of the Dodgers right now with a bunch of. They're doing it with a bunch of analytics and just random guys here and there, and Hyun-Jin Ryu and just random guys, but really Clayton Kershaw, and he only plays at most 3 games of a series. So I wait until the more end of the series to watch of baseball, or I love these 1-game playoffs. That's what I will watch. Go to you, Gary.
I will probably watch the elimination games of the World Series, and that's it.
Are you gonna watch any D-backs?
If I could go to a game, I would. If I could score some tickets, I don't know if I'd watch it on TV because it's gonna be.
That is the difference, isn't it? Though I would, if I was offered tickets, I would go.
I rarely watch baseball on TV.
Yeah.
Just because I just kind of zone out. I don't watch it. But at a game, that's actually really interesting to me. I just have never followed baseball except for like the World Series.
Yeah. All right. My final one. Viewers were expecting to find out how Donna, Erin Hayes, the wife of the titular character of Kevin James on CBS's Kevin Can Wait, would die, since it was announced in June she'd be leaving the show. But the season 2 premiere, which aired on Monday night, left a lot to be desired. Quote, "It's been over a year since she died," end quote, was the only clue as to why the character was no longer on the show. The drama started in June when it was announced that James' former King of Queens co-star, Leah Remini, who had guest starred in season 1 as Vanessa, Kevin's former partner, would be joining the series full-time in season 2. The next day, TV Line reported that Hayes would be leaving the show, but the details of her exit remained unclear. Then in August, CBS's senior executive vice president of programming, Tom Sherman, revealed that Hayes' character would be killed off, and there would be a time jump to show Kevin the character adjusting to life as a single dad. Hayes has remained mostly quiet about the exit, but her only comment on the matter was a tweet from June 3rd confirming she wouldn't be back for season 2. Luke and Gary, what is the worst character exit replacement you can remember in either TV or movie history?
I gotta tell you, man. There's this girl at my work. Her name is Brianna, and she is Leah Remini's niece.
Wow.
And
Who?
I just wanted to say that.
You saw King of Queens?
She's Kevin Smith's
wife in that series.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kevin James.
Kevin James, yeah.
She's his wife. And her niece works at my work.
And now they're in another series together. But essentially, they killed off the main female.
Yeah, no, I understood
and it's
that.
weird. It's that she died. And then that's it. That's all they did to address it. I'd be pissed off if I was actually watching that show. So anyways, worst exit airing. Do you guys need me to tell you mine to get you started?
I already know mine.
All right,
you go first.
Go ahead.
How I Met Your Mother, The Mother. That was so incredibly dumb.
Yeah.
So I know it was like she disappeared in the last episode,
Yeah.
but it was so stupid. I think I've gone off on this tangent before on this podcast. I just hate that hey, here's 10 or so seasons or 7, I think, of build up of, and you'll finally meet the mother by BT Dubs. She's dead, and Todd's gonna go hook up with Ted's gonna go hook up with Robin yet again.
I haven't seen the show, but I know that was a huge deal. I'm not gonna go with worst, but probably most shocking. I'm just gonna go with, because I can't think of worst, but I'm gonna go with Ned from Game of Thrones when he dies at the end of the
Spoiler
first season.
alert.
Spoiler alert.
If you don't know that Sean Bean dies, then you need to get out of your rock. But that blew everyone's mind. Like no show kills its protagonist.
I will say
Sean Bean.
I've got two, and one doesn't. It's a replacement. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air mom. They
You mean aunt?
Yeah, the aunt. Yeah, excuse me. She switched. Well, she's the mom to.
Yeah, but she's the aunt.
Yeah, she's the aunt. They replaced her in those final 3 seasons or what have you, and it was
And I think
obvious.
I think it was even sooner than that.
Yeah, it was like.
But I mean, I don't think anyone really cared that much about Aunt Viv anyway.
It just jarred me forever. But then the other one was, and now I can't remember her name, but changing from The Dark Knight to Batman Begins.
Oh, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
And Katie Holmes.
That was weird.
That was so weird.
That's a good one, yeah.
It's not even like I really loved Katie Holmes in the first one, but it's just the fact of they didn't even look that much alike.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to go off of the same normalcy. And the fact that number 2 is such a great film that seeing it in the first one in retrospect.
Yeah, when you go back and watch Batman Begins, you're like, wait, is that Rachel?
I always forget that those two swap.
I know.
It literally doesn't impact me at all because I never watched the first one.
Oh, ever?
Ever. I've seen it.
Okay.
I haven't really cared to rewatch it ever.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember these things. And I watched them originally so far apart that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So I didn't even remember who played. I knew, it's Rachel. That was what.
It's weirder when you watch The Dark Knight and then you go back and watch Batman Begins. And you're like, what?
Yeah, Batman Begins is the necessary evil to enjoy the rest of that series.
I don't even think Batman Begins was that bad.
It's not bad. It's just
It's hard when you're comparing it to The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, but
Arguably the best superhero movie of
it's
all
just
time.
a drudge. All right, go ahead. Write your last one
I have 2 more, so check yourself.
before I wreck myself.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe you should learn how to give me 5.
Maybe I do have one more. Look at you, Luke.
Do you know how many times Philip has messed up? How many questions are left?
But I have enough.
Yeah,
I just skipped
It's
one.
like, all right, and that's your, okay, we're done.
That's why I delete my questions after I'm done with them.
Look at that. That's a sweet
Common
one right
sense.
Gotta pick that up.
there. I do gotta pick that up.
Okay, so
Next level.
we are filming this Tuesday night. Tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, is the
Nice.
start of NHL hockey, the regular season.
There was just somebody just got paid in the NHL for an 8-year contract.
Okay. Well, my question to you guys is, were you guys really even aware that hockey started right now? Because I'll be honest, when someone told me, hey, NHL starts later this week, I was completely flabbergasted.
Yeah,
it was practically like when someone tells me WNBA is on. Because I never know when that season is.
October is the greatest sports month in all the calendar year because everything is going on. Any team that you follow is playing. So for that specific reason, I knew that it was going on. I couldn't have told you that it started tomorrow. I couldn't have told you that it started last month. I just knew that it was going to be going on in the month of October. That's the only reason why I know.
I was just thinking, doesn't the NHL follow pretty much the same schedule as the NBA? They start in October, they have their finals in June.
Yeah, it's basically like it's a couple weeks ahead of NBA.
Yeah.
But yes.
Okay, I hadn't even crossed my mind, honestly. I was like, oh, the NHL, yep, that exists.
Yeah, because every single year at the playoff time, everyone's like, NHL, what are you doing? You're losing so much viewership because you're trying to compete with you're trying to compete with NBA, and you're losing.
Yeah.
Terribly.
Yeah, so go NHL on pucking around. All right,
game.
Luke,
The Kardashians are most famous for being, well, famous. However, they're very meticulous in managing their fame. In a recent BuzzFeed article, the delayed response dilemma is discussed. So far, the confirmed pregnancy is Kim's. Quote, "We're having a baby," she tells Chloe via FaceTime in a trailer for this season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Wait, Kim is pregnant?
Yeah, but
She's pregnant.
she's got a surrogate. So her and Kanye are having a baby, but with a surrogate mother.
And then, isn't Chloe pregnant too?
Chloe's
Is that where this
pregnant
question
and
is heading?
Kyrie are pregnant. And Kyrie's pregnant. No, Kylie's pregnant as well. But the thing is that they haven't confirmed it.
Okay.
So, refusing to comment on stories until the Kardashians can address them on their own platform is standard practice for the family. Consider Kylie's lip injections. The change in her appearance was undeniable. It was right there on her face, but she spent a year talking around reports she'd had work done, going with the old good makeup and face changes as you age routine before she decided to come clean on an episode of the show. Naturally. Similarly, after Kim was the victim of an armed robbery in Paris late last year, she spoke publicly about the incident for the first time on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And in Sunday's season premiere, Kendall finally commented and apologized for her appearance in a much-maligned Pepsi commercial this past April. Luke and Gary, like, love, or hate how the Kardashians manage their public narratives. They always wait. They still have yet to confirm or deny that Kylie and Katie or whatever other one is pregnant, because theoretically they're waiting to confirm it, and that's what keeps you going back to the show. But it's also, since it's such public knowledge, does it do them a disservice is kind of where this discussion is going.
Yeah, I don't really care. In the slightest. It makes literally no difference to me. Because I don't keep up with them. I don't keep up with the Kardashians.
I don't either, but I think they, kind of like, what's his name, LeVar Ball. They're both, like, just total marketing whizzes, both families are. Because, like, look at what they've done just by running their mouths and saying stuff that makes no sense. And now they're both, like, super famous and rich. And I guess I respect that, even though it, like, makes me mad when people are, like, obsessed with them. I'm like, why? But
isn't that the thing?
I guess.
Isn't that the thing that we're all infuriated on how much we actually care?
Yeah, but yeah, it's like, why?
Here's the thing, though, I don't care. I'm not angry if people want to care about the Kardashians. I just don't care.
See, I remember where I was when I learned Kylie Jenner's pregnant.
Allegedly pregnant.
Yeah, allegedly. We should put that. Reportedly. But name the last time TMZ was wrong. All right.
Tom Petty is dead. Boom, dropped it.
He is dead.
But they were wrong when they reported it. Or do you not actually follow the news?
He just went into cardiac arrest when he said it. Yeah.
All right.
Because everyone said Tom Petty's dead, and then he wasn't. And then he was, but he wasn't at first.
Right, because he...
Check yourself.
Because he was he put in a medically induced coma?
I don't even know.
He went into cardiac arrest.
All I know
is
that Philip is getting owned on this episode of Chop Green.
Owned, just like Dalvin Cook on my fantasy football roster. Gonna have to drop him after him being out for the year. Thank you, Achilles.
Anyways.
Achilles!
My last question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, there have been a lot of scandals in college football. College basketball.
Oh, yeah?
College basketball, that's where I'm heading with this.
The football.
Rick Pitino thinks that Louisville owes him $44 million, and the university's saying that they owe him $11,000. A little bit of a discrepancy there. You also just have big-name coaches such as Coach K of Duke and Calipari of Kentucky come out and basically say the model that the NCAA uses for college basketball is completely wrong and it needs to be reworked. But, you're getting a little bit of buzz from it, but not everyone's circling it like they usually would, because college basketball has this problem that no one cares about it really until you hit March Madness. So I personally like to watch it from time to time.
Yeah.
But for you guys, when do you guys start actually caring about college basketball?
I believe it's called March Madness.
During bracket season.
Yeah, March.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sometimes, if it's like 2 in the afternoon and I'm at home, it'll be on. like TBS or whoever plays it, because there's like no NBA games at 2 in the afternoon, no NFL games on a Wednesday, but then there's like, oh, Illinois is playing Northern California.
The only chance NCAA basketball has to get me is if somehow Kentucky is playing Duke in the regular season, and even then,
I'll tune in for like those 1 seed versus 4 seed games.
So like typically you guys will turn in early season when they're doing all those big name tournaments.
right?
Yeah.
You might tune in for big conference games, which might pit a 1 or 4, like Duke in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, you guys just don't care until March.
Completely meaningless.
And by March, I really mean March/April.
Yeah.
Because even though it's called March Madness, like half of it is at the start of April.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
I do want to go to an ASU game this year.
I'm going to the ASU U of A games.
Is it in Tempe? Right.
College basketball, you do 1-1.
Oh.
You know what's crazy about that is because of the scandals, the U of A coach might be fired.
Nah, Sean Miller will be fine.
I mean, this is the FBI though.
Sean Miller is going to be fine.
What is he being investigated for?
Basically,
The FBI came out with a report that indicted a bunch of the shady underlings of shoe companies and
there were bribes
associates.
from Adidas to kids to play at school sponsored by Adidas. That is what it boils down
and one
to.
of which were in the report was U of A.
Was an assistant coach from U of A.
Okay.
There's one from like U of A, one from Louisville, one from like USC, I want to say. And then just other, those were I think the bigger name schools.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they were like arrested. This isn't like an NCAA thing. This is
Like
FBI.
The FBI is getting involved now because you're messing with their taxes.
But no, Sean Miller will be fine. U of A is going to be fine. Until they can actually point to
see.
specific students. I will bet you any amount of money right now, Sean Miller will not be fired.
My question is that we've never had this before where the FBI is involved. Before it's been coaches have taken the fall for bigger league coaches.
$1,000 right now.
1,000 to 1?
No.
No, he wants to pay
Not.
$1,000.
I know, just 1,000
Shake
to 1.
on it.
Sean Miller is not going to be fired.
Like ever? Like he'll die coaching on the stand?
He will never, he's not going to be fired.
He will have
for
a heart
this.
attack and sweat his body.
Well, I don't know why you think he'd have to coach forever. He could just retire and not get fired.
You are going to coach the day you die, boy.
Again, Philip is just really behind today.
No, there was a football coach who died the week after he retired.
Are you talking about the movie Draft Day?
No.
That was a good movie.
No. Okay.
So, it
Anyways.
was.
All right.
Sorry, you have bad taste in
Well,
movies.
we'll see. You know, eventually we got to actually look at these lock of the week, see if we actually hit on any of these lock of the week.
I hit on every lock of the week. That's why it's called lock of the week.
I was talking about your side. My side has always been perfect. I was just talking
My
about
side's
it.
been perfect.
Right.
So.
All right. Anyways, this is all to say thank you for listening to another splendid edition of Chopped Greens. As always, listen to us on YouTube for all of our archived and new episodes. Wow, Gary Boucher.
Luke Wright.
And I'm Philip Amaran. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, bye.